All right, so I want to take some time to answer some questions that some viewers asked me in my video about transitioning into cybersecurity, where I talked about my first 6 months as a security engineer at Amazon doing incident response. The first question here is from A Square Phi. And A Square Phi says, "Great information day. I have a couple of questions. How long did it take you to transition into the IR role? What specific skill sets are essential for making this switch? Additionally, what challenges did you face during your transition? What advice do you have for someone considering a similar transition? Lastly, what resources helped you during the process?" So this is a lot of questions, so I figured I would just do a video about it. Basically, how long it took me to transition into the IR role, I'd say a couple of months. So when I started interviewing, honestly, I had been interviewing throughout that year. Just trying to make sure I'm, keeping up to date with the market. I wasn't necessarily looking to make a jump, but I had done some interviews with some pretty big name companies. I think I interviewed with Cisco, I interviewed with Benchling, interviewed with a bunch of companies. I was looking for more of a hybrid role, like a detection and response role, or like an actual fully response engineering role. But I wasn't really looking to move immediately. And then I'd also been working towards my promotion at Datadog, which I made a video about how I went from engineer 1 to engineer 2. I'll leave a link to that video on the screen. I had gotten promoted, I think around August or so, and the promotion was good and all, but I still knew I wanted to make the jump or the move into doing response engineering or doing detection and response. So I think the Amazon interview request came around September. Actually, the recruiter reached out in September, and everything happened in the span of 30 days. So from first interview all the way to offer, it was in 30 days. So I didn't really necessarily prepare deeply or anything, resources that helped me during the process. I think I was just ready for the interview. I didn't have a long interview preparation process. But basically, how long it took me, I'd say it took me a couple of months. Let's say maybe when I took it very seriously, started maybe truly interviewing, 3-4 months or so. And then specific skills that are essential for making the switch, honestly, I didn't have to learn anything new. I think I just need to I just needed to internalize the incident response lifecycle, which is really huge. And these days, I try to base things on existing frameworks, life cycles, fundamental concepts, right? These things are there to essentially help you have a understanding of how things work at a high level, right? But basically, with regards to essential skills, I think I already had a good amount of skills, which I think one of the biggest things is investigations, because one of the first parts of the incident response lifecycle is detection and analysis. So analysis and investigations, I was already doing a lot of that in my previous role doing cloud threat detection engineering at Datadog. I'd done a lot of investigations. I got a lot of reps in, so that definitely helped me. So I think just capitalizing on the transferable skills is the big thing. So I capitalized on my skills with investigation, my skills with engineering, my skills with working in large scale environments, right? Given and knowing that Amazon is a pretty big place. So yeah, skill sets was just what I already knew, right? And trust me, the landscape of incident response I'm doing right now is completely different from what I was doing at Datadog. But I think the core skills of investigations, analysis, hunting, those things, that framework applies so much to anything, right? It's all data sets. So how do you approach looking into the data set and trying to identify and surface malicious activity and stuff? So yeah. Hey there. Did you know that 70% of our YouTube viewers are unsubscribed? If you're part of the group, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers by the year's end, and your support would mean a whole lot. Thank you so much for your help with this, and now let's get back to the video. Challenges I faced during my transition. I think the challenging aspect of the transition was just going through interviewing process, being patient with that, and just going through a couple of rejections. I'd say it definitely is a bit hurtful to interview for a couple of roles that you were I'm gonna crush this one and then get rejected for them. But ultimately it didn't really affect anything because I ended up at an amazing place. I ended up at Amazon. That's pretty good. It's pretty great. So I think that was the biggest challenge during the transition. I also think the going through the thought of the Amazon interview process, because before I came to Amazon, I've heard a lot about Amazon's interview process, how it's difficult. So I think I stressed a little bit over that, trying to prepare, make sure because I think for me, what was great was that I had a good amount of experience that I could speak to in the interview. So I didn't have to overthink on how to explain things, but I think you just the biggest thing was just matching my experiences and the work I've done, projects I've done, collaborations, all of those things with the leadership principles, which is super huge. So that was definitely a challenge, but just got to take the time to get that stuff done. If you want to, if you want the big job, you gotta take the time to prepare for it. So the interview is typically challenging. So that was definitely a challenge. So yeah, advice for someone considering similar transition. If you're considering transition from detection engineering to response engineering, honestly, I don't think you need to do anything much crazier than you're doing right now, because it's not like you're going to need entirely new skill sets. You're just going to be applying your existing skill sets to a different field. It's just let's say data analysis, right? Data analysis can be applied to so many fields. You can apply data analysis to any field possible. People in construction can use data analysis, right, for identifying XYZ. People in security can use data analysis. People in healthcare, that's why there's health informatics. People in the automotive industry can use data analysis. People in finance can use data analysis. So it's the same thing as cybersecurity skills of hunting, investigating, detecting threats, knowing how to write reports, knowing how to identify log sources, using query languages, whether in Splunk or in Simple Logic or Datadog or whatever you use. Those skill sets still apply whether you're doing detection or response. It's just that you're applying those skill sets to something else. And then I think the bigger thing with response is really understanding that response lifecycle, right? And essentially knowing when to do what at each stage, right? When do you know, okay, my analysis is good enough for me to contain the actor or contain the behavior, right? How do you approach eradication, right? Because detection is more so you identify, right? You capture the behavior. The response is okay, now it's happened, how do we turn things back to normal, right? So I think that's where the shift in thinking comes from. So I think the advice for me is just think about how what you're already doing in detection, how it works. But let's say you're investigating an attacker behavior. Okay, you detected it, great, right? I know a lot of things focus on attack and defense and detection, but okay, you've detected a compromised user account, great. Great, your lab worked, but the next step after that is response. Okay, what do we do after this? First, when did it happen, right? You're looking at timestamps, the trail of the behavior, what happened before this, what's the context to this? And then how do I restore this to normal? How do I maybe remove this user's access or permissions, revoke all their session tokens, make sure they don't have any access to any resources, right? How do I isolate that behavior? How do I isolate this host? And then how do I, maybe remove the malware, right? How do I remove the new permissions? How do I remove the persistence mechanisms? And then how do I make sure this doesn't happen again? Maybe I put precautions in place. Those things are what you start thinking about when you're doing response. Orienting your mindset around that is what is going to help you with transitioning. I don't think you need to learn new skills. You just need to figure out how to apply the skills you already have in security detection to response. And then what resources helped me during the process? Honestly, the resources I already had. Honestly, I think the biggest thing is you honestly have everything you need. Now, I think if you're doing a transition from defensive security to offensive security, that's definitely something entirely different. But mostly when you're moving within defensive roles, right? The skill sets are typically transferable. You just need to know how to apply them into this different niche or different aspect of defensive security. Resources that help me, maybe specifically for the interview, honestly, I think just YouTube and just spending time trying to go over the things I've worked on. I think one of the biggest thing was when I was at Datadog, I kept a running brag sheet of what I'd been doing for over almost 2 years. I had every single month, everything I worked on, I had that thing laid out, so I could easily just go back through those things. I look okay, if I get a question about tell me about a time when you did XYZ, I have a good situation to bring up. I worked on this project and I did this and that, and I can also tie that to the leadership principles, which is really huge at Amazon. So I think keeping the brag sheet, being very present in all of my experiences and being able to turn those experiences into stories, and then being able to apply those things to the Amazonian leadership principles. I think the other aspect of things is just a little bit of lead code. Most engineering interviews these days require some level of coding in Python or some scripting typically. So going to lead code, easy or medium questions would be helpful for you. So I hope this answers your question, A square phi, and yeah, I'll make another video about another question I got in the comment section, but on to the next one.